Hey boys and girls, welcome back to ProjectTube. Today I am super excited for today's video. We have the Phrozen Sonic Mighty 8K resin 3D printer. This thing is a beast. We're going to do an unboxing and an honest review on this, so stick around. What do we got here? If your package is damaged upon receipt, please record an unboxing video to ensure you retain all your rights. Well, check that off. This thing is absolutely massive. I know they have the Phrozen Sonic Mega, which is even bigger, but that thing is like over $1,000. So, I mean, considering the price point on this thing, it is pretty big, especially for the resolution that you're getting. Let's get this plastic off and we can actually see it in its full glory. Now I paid for this printer, so this is a unbiased review. They did not give me this printer. They did not expedite this printer, even though I asked. I waited and paid the full price, although I did take their pre-sale coupon, which you paid $50 for a $200 coupon, which basically gives you $150 off, I think is the way it works. We have in here our after sales warranty manual, sandpaper, Allen wrenches, thumb drive, Wi-Fi type in dongle, gloves, a funnel, the power supply, 2 different cords, 1 European, 1 US, and 2 scrapers, plastic and a metal one. This thing's serious. That's a serious freaking metal scraper right there. Dang.
Here's Johnny.
Get some B-roll of this thing. It is so incredibly big. I mean, the size of this thing is just incredible. I'm just so overwhelmed by how incredibly big it is. It's so incredibly big. Comes with a webcam, although I'm not sure if the app supports that yet. I got an email the other day saying that it didn't, so that might not be supported. But it is a cool feature. You can do time lapse and stuff like that. Touchscreen. Sonic 8K Mighty. On the back we have an on and off switch, power port, USB, and an RJ45 with this massive fan back here too. The build plate is a piece of artwork in itself with its, I guess, laser cut design, giving you a texture there, and is absolutely massive as well. Here it is completely unpackaged in its full glory. Now the pre-order package comes with some NFEP film, a LCD screen protector, an additional vat, and then a order of the resin, the aqua gray 8K resin, which is shipped separately, so I don't have yet. But I do have resin, so we will be testing this thing out, just not with the 8K resin. Now, my initial impressions are this thing is really well built. I mean, it doesn't feel cheap at all. From the build plate, I mean, this thing is beefy and secures really well on here. I mean, without any wiggle or anything like that. That's on there. The dual rails over here, this thing isn't moving at all. You can tell that's precision. So I'm pretty impressed with it so far. The vat comes off fairly easily with these 2 screws. And is solid aluminum, has a max line for filling up, and then has these 2, or rather 4 corner screws that fit into the table right here for alignment. Like I said, solid aluminum. This feels like solid aluminum as well. Everything on this feels metal. I don't feel any plastic on there other than this cover, which really makes me feel good about the purchase. I don't see any defects on it. The lead screws on this top here, really solid. Everything feels really solid on it. But the question is how does it print? The first thing to do when we power this thing up following the nicely written manual is to do a hardware test. Name your printer. What are we going to name it, guys? We're going to name it ProjectTube. We'll name it Project. English. Please follow the steps to conduct the LCD test. Calibrate your Z-axis and perform the printing test. The printer will automatically test the LCD in 3 different modes. You can kind of see up there the LED light or the UV light is on. Now it's doing a grid pattern. I don't know what kind of pattern it's doing now. Z-axis calibration. What? Remove the resin vat. Place an A4 paper on the LCD screen. I'm back. I had to get some A4 paper to set on the screen. Now I have it. Next, loosen all 4 screws on the side of the building plate. That I have not done. You're gonna need the supplied Allen wrenches. Look, they're all cool and like copper colored. High quality Allen wrenches here. It'd probably be a pretty bad thing if they weren't loose and you did this, I'm guessing. I'm guessing the stepper motor wouldn't really like that. All right, nice and loose. Next, please wait for the Z-axis as it lowers to the bottom. Tighten the screws, Z-axis calibration complete. All right, I teed up a calibration matrix so that we can start teeing this Ceratec cast up as far as settings go. The first thing we gotta do is get the resin in the vat. And so here we go. This thing just holds an incredible amount of freaking resin. That's like half the container right there, honestly. Not joking. All right, so we got the resin in there and now we can start teeing up the print. Let's get this print on the way. I just noticed that there's this like screensaver, which is kind of cool. USB, I haven't set up the Wi-Fi or anything yet. And then this validation matrix and print. Checking, and it's printing. The build plate is lowering down. It looks like it shows all the settings for the print and it's going to take 13 minutes. So this is my first of many test prints to kind of zero in the exposure time here. I'm going to get this worked out and then we'll pick a really cool print to print out and we'll see how it comes out. Alright, here are the results of the first print. I opted to do the Han Solo bust and it came out amazing. I've been wanting to print this print for a while now, mainly because the face is very smooth and detailed and I wanted to see if I would get any layer lines. That's one reason I got this printer, is to get rid of the layer lines so that when I cast I don't have to sand out the layer lines, and this came out flawless, beautifully. I have no complaints on this. It absolutely kicks ass. The next model I chose to print is this Orchid Lamp model. I purchased this model actually. I'll leave links to the STLs for all the prints in the description below. But I've been wanting to print this model for a while. I love intricate prints like this. I think it would be really fun to cast. So I teed this up and sent it over to the Phrozen Mighty 8K. Now I know this time lapse isn't the best, but that just makes me really eager for them to get the webcam activated so that I can make some really cool time lapse on future videos. Here we are with another flawless print. This thing came out beautifully. I don't see any issues with it. I did crack a small little piece on the bottom getting it off, but it's minor. The detail is amazing. I like how the texture, that's very actually subtle along the sides there, actually came out really, really well. Just a beautiful print. I can't wait to cast it in maybe some brass or some Nordic gold. If you're interested in seeing that, make sure you hit like and subscribe so you can see that next video. I think we'll cast this up. If you want to see one of the other prints cast, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think would look great cast. I have about half a bottle, 250 grams of this washable Elgu ceramic gray. So I figure we go ahead and try some of this and see what we can come up with. While the last print is curing, I figure we go through the interface. You've seen the kind of screensaver here. If we tap this, this is kind of the main splash screen. If you have a USB drive in, that'll light up and then you can access any of the files there. You have the local file storage, which nothing's there. You have the history of what you printed right there. Tools, Z-axis control, and vat cleaning. And settings, you have language, network, system, sharing network, and a remote control which is locked. I'm not sure what that is for in the future perhaps. One thing that I've noticed is I have connected to my local Wi-Fi, but I haven't been able to remote print on it. I'm using Chitubox as the slicer, and it just doesn't show up in the network send area. So something I'll have to look into in the future. You also have an info button which has an air log and printer info with just the basic stuff there. Alright, here is how the final print came out. Altogether, it's not terrible. And let me just say 3 things. I didn't really calibrate this resin very well. I did one test matrix and called it good at a second and a half. The second thing, this resin is actually expired. It expired in March, so like 6 months ago. And then the third thing is it's been like 100 degrees out here lately in the garage, so really hot, although that didn't really affect any of the other prints. He did get some cracking, quite a lot of cracking here. All along actually, there's some cracking and some issues with layers down here. You know, all along the bottom side there were some issues and then that cracking. Now I hollowed this print, so this print was hollow, and it's still a really good size print, so I didn't want to use that much resin. I didn't have that much resin to use. But altogether, it's actually not that bad. That crack in the back is the worst, and the front is not too bad. It does as intended. And so I'm not too disappointed with it for some old resin, some good use for it. Altogether, I am very happy with this purchase, and I think it's a good value for your dollar altogether. Big build volume, network connectivity, high resolution. It's got the webcam, the GUI interface, touchscreen is amazing, walks you right through it. If you're a new 3D printer and you want to get into resin, this thing is right up your alley. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe. If you want to see me cast this out of brass, make sure you hit subscribe, because I'm going to do that in the next video and you don't want to miss it. As always, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you next time.